Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XII. I'm the MysteriousJG. Going to give you a heads up right now. This is going to be an incredibly skippable video. Might be interesting only in one respect. What I'm going to do in this video, obviously you're welcome to skip any video in this series, but in this video I've noticed some magic spells that I should have that I don't have. And, you know, people in the comments letting me know, like, hey, I know there's no reason you would have known that. Like, yeah, actually, I should have looked up who the user was who said this, because they were totally cool about it. There was like, there's no reason you should have known it, and it's kind of bullshit, but you don't have that spell because you have to go back to a shop. There's no particular reason you would have gone back to after a plot event and gone shopping there, and only after that plot event will they sell the spell that you want. So I actually kind of looked it up online, and there's a bunch of stuff that we didn't get. Some of them 100% spawn like techniques and spells. Some of them 100% spawn, and others not so much. For example, we should have Addle and Wither by now. Things I have missed in big boss fights. Those are the techniques that will allow you to decrease the offense of enemies rather than the defense. We've got the things that make enemy. You can instead of doing damage, your physical attacker can reduce an enemy's resistance to physical or resistance to magic. We haven't had the thing that actually decreases their attack power, and that might be real useful in some boss fights. But yeah, the reason we haven't got those is because they have a 10% spawn chance in the places that we're trying to get to. Or that we've already been to. Although Pharos Abyssal, I think we haven't been there yet. But at any rate, I'm going to spend this video backtracking and collecting stuff that we don't have that we should already have. And that's why I'm telling you, very skippable. First one we're going to do is go to the Necro Hall of Nobodies. There's a secret shop I was looking for. I couldn't find it. Now we should be able to find it because you have to kill Hydro at Pharos, which I believe we already did. And that's Esunaga. So let's actually go deal with that. Which party is active right now? The ladies are active, but they are in fact leveled up above the guys. If I could get you guys to just, like, stop for a second. Okay. They probably won't pick up that much experience in all this nonsense, but we'll give the boys a chance here. The boys are not equipped with ribbons. It probably doesn't matter that much with what we're doing, but just for the hell of it. Actually, you know what? No, I'll enter some situation where I really want them to have ribbons, and it's going to bother me they don't, so. You can get a Hermes sandal just in case we do need to bust you out. No, everybody who's not equipped should be doing cat ear hoods. That adds to the infinite pile of money I've got, but the nice thing about cat ear hoods is that eventually I might need shit tons of money to just have characters using MP to cast, or Gil instead of MP to cast spells against bosses that just like constantly neutralize all of your MP. So that is why we will bother with cat ear hoods, even though it seems ridiculous. You should have a ribbon, not a cat ear hood. What am I doing? Yeah. You should have a cat ear hood. That way. Ribbon, cat ear hood, ribbon, and now we give you a ribbon. And we are all set to head for... Doing it wrong here, aren't I? I'm doing it wrong. I missed the ribbon somewhere. Here we go. We're all set to head for the Necro Hall of Nobodies, which used to be... It's still an optional dungeon. It used to be a really mean optional dungeon. Now it's kind of like, eh. But somewhere in the Necro Hall of Nobodies is a hidden shop, and we're going to try to find it. And that's going to be a thing. Well, actually, now that I think about it, I believe the Nobodies Deadlands also had one of the things that I missed. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to keep switching back and forth between inputs here. Warp is at the Lifeless Strand, and I never picked that up. It is a time magic spell I never got, so we'll hit the Lifeless Strand on our way. The Lifeless Strand is this one. So apparently there's a treasure chest here I just never found with Warp. Am I absolutely sure I don't have warp and just missed it somehow? It really seems like I don't have warp. Okay, so let's search real carefully in the Lifeless Strand. Lord knows I've cleared this place enough. I've fought enemies here plenty of times. I guess I just never did a real close look. Oh, you guys have weird gambits left over from your boss fight, don't you? Yeah, you don't need to be casting a shock. These enemies are not really warranting that. Alright. So it should be 100% spawn rate. There's going to be screens we're going to have to clear over and over and over again looking for treasure that just didn't feel like spawning for us the first 20 times we came there. Seems like it would be off in a hidden corner somewhere if I didn't already get it. But we kind of already hit what seems to be the hidden corner. And maybe it's hidden behind this thing. Oh, that's a file of eye drops. I love the little crawling over wood sounds. Do you not? Oh, your gambits are off because of some technique that I was doing where he stole our loot. What a jerk. Alright, well, that didn't avail him much. Smarter strategy than just attacking us, though, I suppose. A peck of Geishel greens. Just looking for little corners of the world that I might not have bothered with before until I find warp. This game, there's a lot of things about this game I really like. There's some things about this game that I hated when I played it originally that the speed up feature helps with quite a bit. But the way, like, finding treasure works in this game with, like, chests that only spawn 10% of the time, and that is a really annoying mechanic. Like, completely missable. They make things missable that are. It's not like, oh, you missed a chance to acquire a. You know, I joke around about the iron bangle from Final Fantasy 13 that I missed. You know, har har. There's some shit in this game where you're like really late in the game fighting a high-end boss, and you never learned Asuna, so you're using remedies. That's kind of bullshit. Because also, the rewards for treasures are so shit, you can be forgiven for just getting into the habit of not even bothering with the treasure chests all the time. Yeah. And I think they tweak things in the Zodiac age to make this not a thing anymore, but the original game was full of treasure chests that you could... They were completely missable. Like, you don't do things exactly the right way according to the Brady Games guide or whatever, and you can't get it. You'll like make it. You'll set a chest so that it never spawns. Like if you encounter a chest early in the game that doesn't really give you anything useful, but if you open it, forever a late game chest that gives you something super important will never spawn. I don't think... I can't imagine people would even understand the mechanics of it if it weren't revealed in the Brady Games guide, but that is such bullshit. Alright, but... Oh, yeah, see? Here we go. Why didn't I find warp before? Because it's... This would be it, right? Yeah. That's why. Because it was in some treasure chest that you can't even get to if you are just paying attention to the map. Alright, Balthier's fallen. Because really the only thing that's a big threat to us now are these floor traps, since they're, I think they're based on percentage of hit points most of the time. But now we just got to make our way into the Necro Hall of Nobodies, and yeah, that didn't matter at all. Alright, anyway, now we got to make our way to the Necro Hall of Nobodies, if I can avoid getting distracted. Is it worth trying to... What a pain in the ass. Like, you spawn right on top of it. I really hate that. I mean, they go out of their way to make this area nasty. I'll give them credit. They do a pretty effective job of making this place clearly unfriendly. And it is way above. It is meant to be like a huge, like not completely unbeatable, but really high-end challenge. The earliest time in the game that the plot would even bring you anywhere near here. And also the plot. There's definitely no plot armor going on with this place. Like, you can get here as soon as you can cross the river that gets you north of the Ester Sands. So there's a whole lot of plot stuff going on in the south before you would ever need to come here for story purposes. But you can come here long before you need to. And you never need to actually come specifically to this sub-dungeon. But what I'm trying to get at is, before you can even get to this general part of the map, before the story would get you to come to this general part of the map, you can come here if you're like going out of your way to sequence break. And it is like a nice high-end battle challenge if that's what you're looking for. And those like Crown of Thorns items, which are really pretty high-end helmet for a big chunk of the game, are available to you if you're going to come here and like really, really fight for them. It's a repeatable chest. I want to say the actual hidden store is down there somewhere. Which is why I probably should have come to the other entrance to this place, but whatever, not too late now. I guess we're vaguely leveling up as we go through all this nonsense. Could be equipping them with a thing that gives you double experience, but actually I probably should be, as long as I'm just running around fighting stuff. I'm not really getting hit with status stuff that often, but every so often I'll hit a trap that does more than that does status ailments like Berserk, and it's a big nuisance to recover from if you don't have ribbon. Which might make the logical thing to do to just be equipped with the thing that makes you immune to floor traps instead of ribbon. I can't really come up with a logical reason not to change other than the fact that I don't feel like taking the time. I ended up needing to buy a bunch more. You know what? That made the difference. Let's get rid of ribbons and do the whatever they are, the steel polions. Because they're pretty much the thing that's messing us up, if anything is at this point. There might come a point later where I'm going somewhere else, which is a little more dangerous, and we need to go back to ribbon, but here it's like, that's the one thing that's consistently being a pain in the butt. It's also costing me Phoenix Downs. Alright. So... Oh, X potions are getting used up. That's a waste of money. But, you know, whatever. It's not that big a deal. one thing they don't do in this game that I'm kind of surprised now that I think about it is have treasure chests that are trapped. You'll have ones that spawn mimic enemies, but by and large, the mimic enemies are not like super threatening. It's not like Lufia 2, where you're in the treasure cave and the mimics are like really dangerous. Kind of felt that way in Crystallis too, and this game mimics are kind of jobbers. Oh, let's just run away. Look, we're wasting a lot of time in this zone. I think that was a wrong turn, yeah. Cloying breath was probably some kind of status thing that Riven would have helped with, but whatever. Again, I'm fairly sure that the secret shop is down here, but I guess I didn't bother to look it up. I just remember been trying to find it before and not had any luck. But it was based on a description that thought had me down here. This would be an even more wasted video if it turns out that I went to the wrong place looking for this thing, because I didn't quite intend to spend half of the video and only pick up Warp and be on our way to picking up another. I was hoping like 1 or 2 videos of this backtracking. Entirely skippable. You've got my permission to skip. But 1 or 2 videos of this just to give you a sense of how much of this nonsense you have to be willing to do to fully clear this game. Well, okay, so he's doomed. It's one of these rooms, but I don't think it's this one. I think it's farther up that hall. Although maybe it is this one, unless there's a treasure chest. Yeah, there's a treasure chest there. A penetrator crossbow. Sexy. I believe if we come up here, there's some kind of hidden shop. So eventually Van is going to be doomed, and then we'll just immediately revive him, and it's kind of not that big a deal. Oh, Phoenix down. No, even Balthier doesn't bother with healing, using magics to bring people back. Ah, well, crap. It looks like the secret shop might not have been where I thought it was. The other place I was thinking it was a room that we've already run past, so I guess we'll just quick check all the walls up here again to be quasi-sure. I was looking for this shop earlier, and it turns out you have to clear a certain point in the story. That has nothing to do with the shop, of course. You just have to clear a certain point in the story before it shows up. Alright, well, at least I'm getting a little bits of experience out of this. Going through X potions like they were candy, though. And when am I going to finish this LP? There's so much extra crap to do on the side. I'm using way too many X potions too. Let's chill you out on X potions, because you actually have white magic you should be able to use in these situations, I would think. Maybe you can't do the ones that I'm thinking of. Yeah, you're supposed to be our primary healer, duh. With the boys, anyway. Playing with the boys. So this will at least have us get a little bit more chilled out on terms of X potions and Phoenix Downs. So I think I might know where it is. And if I'm wrong, we had a whole video of this nonsense. Hey, but we leveled up, bitches. Let's keep taking these things out until eventually you kill enough guys, this like nightmare horse monster shows up, and when you've cleared it, you're kind of done spawning extra challenge enemies. There's a lot of these guys showing up suddenly. Oh, there's the nightmare horse enemy that I was talking about. And it's inflicting all the status ailments. Yeah, it just refused to die. But, somebody's got to have some, if not a Sunaga, then at least a Suna. Yeah, Sunaga is what we're actually here to get, isn't it? Alright. Keep on Asuna-ing. And I gotta shut down the Gambit, whoever's using Ethers, because I don't have a cheap and easy way to replace those. Alright. One more Asuna for Balthier, the self-proclaimed main character. And we should be back in business. I guess it's possible the shop is hidden up here, but I don't think so. I think it's the next room. Okay, I'm sure these loots were once super valuable, but they are not anymore. And I'm not really that sure that they were once super valuable, to tell you the truth. So I feel like up past here might be where the secret shop is, if we can kill all this crap. And if not, I really need to think about checking a fac. To avoid wasting any more time. Okay, I probably should have checked the fac a while ago. Oh no, hold on. It's. I'm pretty sure it's in this room somewhere. But there's other sections of this room we haven't checked yet. This place has the most little nooks and crannies, you know. Great, like it's like an Eggo waffle. There's all sorts of great places to hide syrup in this zone. Hide syrup. That's what Eggo waffles do. They hide syrup. Fine, you guys just hang out there while I look for this shop. But that might have been it. I'm sure they'll wake up eventually, right? Zombie breath. It's nice to know that there is a shop waiting to do business with us here in the Necro Hall of Nobodies, if we can only find it. Okay. God darn it. Where is this thing? Alright, where the hell is it? I'm going to go look it up now, because this is getting ridiculous. Other things I could be doing, even from an LP in Cloister of the Highborne, secret shop that opens up after killing Hydro at the Pharos. Uh-oh. Did I actually kill Hydros at the Pharos? Am I at the Cloister of the Highborne already? I'm at the Cloister of the Highborne. Now I just gotta really worry about whether I actually killed Hydros. If that was, I thought that was one of the bosses I killed on my way up, but maybe it's like there's a section of the Pharos that we haven't done, like the Subterranea or something like that. It's an optional dungeon that I was gonna do. I was thinking about doing that next after I finish all this backtracking for loots we missed. But I'm really hoping Hydro we already dealt with. There's a lot of really forgettable bosses that we fought in that section of the game. Oh. Yeah, it's just a regular old treasure chest. Again, lots of little nooks and crannies here. I'm not giving up yet. Although maybe it's time to give up. Weird little graphical glitch there. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to quick Google search Necro Hall of Nobodies shop map. All right. Here's a almost completely unreadable map. This is annoying to me now. The merchant is located in the Hall of Infinite Light in the original PlayStation version of the northwest corner of the Cloche of the Highborne and the Zodiac. I was up there. Now I'm really wondering if I didn't beat this boss, but I thought I did. Okay, so we've already been up where it's supposed to be. So let's go back. Sorry. I was running around with my map not fully visible because I was still switching from TV input and had this little... Never mind. Okay, at least we freaking found it. How would I even know he's a merchant? Well, whatever. I would say this is all really high-end stuff when you first get here, except that when you first get here, you haven't finished Pharos yet, so you can't do anything with any of this. I don't imagine any of these shots really matter, because I don't think we've got people with more than... Oh, what the hell? I don't think we've got enough people with the actual licenses to use these to have a full party of them at a time, but theoretically we could. And we have... I believe we have now 11 million gil, so I can probably afford to buy these even if I never use them. Certainly, some of these techniques I'm going back for, like I told you guys, skippable video, I might never use some of these techniques. It's possible I'll never use Asunaga. That one actually does seem likely to be used. Warp, much less so. I don't even know exactly what Warp does, now that I think about it. Float moat. Hi, Ether. Ooh. I did not know he sold high ethers. That actually makes this far more useful to me. I didn't know that you could buy those. I don't think you could in the original version. I might be wrong. Asunaga. So there you go, folks. The Wakami merchant, a traitor to his kind, because he's willing to deal with us at all. So, that video is totally skippable. The next one will be totally skippable too, but at least I feel like I got something done. If I'm being brutally honest with you guys, I know there's not that many of you guys still watch the series. I'm being very open about the fact that you can skip some of these videos. But, I mean, part of the flavor of this game is, like, all the backtracking, all the shit that you miss and find out about later. That's part of the experience of this game to me. And if I wasn't recording this, I would be probably having to do this off screen. Like I've done a lot of off screen for this. It's the level 99 Chocobo. I feel bad about the fact I couldn't show it off, but I went through and did the level 99 Chocobo stuff off screen and meant to set it up so I could show it off, and then screwed it up and deleted the footage. But that was a lot of time. And if I continue to do a bunch of off screening without recording it, yeah, I'll get plenty of riff tracks watched, but I'll also kind of fall behind in my uploads. I'm MysteriousJG. Thank you guys for watching. If you did, when we come back next time, another video that you can join me on if you feel like hearing me stammer my way through an explanation of you can get to this area, but you don't need to come here. But I mean, like getting really, really confused about the whole Crown of Laurels. If you want to hear more of that, it'll be next time. If you want to get back to the main story or dungeons you haven't seen yet, yeah, it might be a few videos left of this. We'll see.